रक्षत रक्षत, जो धर्म की रक्षा करते हैं धर्म उनकी रक्षा। 1 वर्ष पश्चात हम पुनः उस संकल्प को फिर से उठा रहे हैं। 14-15 मार्च 2026 डॉक्टर अंबेडकर इंटरनेशनल सेंटर में आपका निमंत्रण है, केवल एक श्रोता के रूप में नहीं, अपितु एक सभ्यता के पुनर्निर्माण में भागीदार के रूप में। इस स्वयं बोध में हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए तेजस्वी सूर्य, विष्णु शंकर जैन, प्रदीप भंडारी, विनोद तावड़े, अंकित शाह, शमिक मोइत्रा, अनुपम मिश्रा, अवनीश पीएन शर्मा, आदित्य सत्संगी, मीनाक्षी जैन, प्रखर श्रीवास्तव, विक्रम सिंह सर, RSN सिंह सर, राजीव नारायणन सर, लेफ्टिनेंट जनरल दुष्यंत सिंह सर, एयर चीफ मार्शल भदौरिया सर, Vineet Gaurji, he's a serving officer, and many subject specialists and experts. QR कोड आपके स्क्रीन के ऊपर है, जल्दी से रजिस्ट्रेशन करें और इस मंथन में भागीदार बने। इसमें आप निमंत्रित हैं। 14-15 मार्च 2026 डॉक्टर अंबेडकर इंटरनेशनल सेंटर। Periana, very warm welcome on the show.
Namaskar Gayatri ji. Thank you.
Periana, as you predicted in last couple of your videos, exactly the same thing is happening right now. A lot of people were saying that the war will not happen because a lot of things are at stake. But now since it has started, so we'd like to take the talk forward beyond than that. Ji.
Sure. Yeah, there was some talk that Trump will chicken out like he usually does, and there won't be a war. This is just a threat. But the annual chart of Iran as well as the lunar charts, they strongly suggested that between January 28 and April 1, there is a strong chance of a war. And another thing I'm pretty confident of is not only that there is a war, but the current regime of Iran is in deep trouble. It is very likely that before April 1, this regime will fall. So I don't have the chart of Khamenei, so I can't predict whether he will die or whether he will remain alive. But all I can say based on Iran's charts is that there will be a change of leadership and the current leader will either die. If they somehow bought time with US and prolonged this past April 1, he could have perhaps survived. But unfortunately, this war started at a terrible time for him and the next month is terrible. So this is going to end badly for Khamenei. And another thing that people are concerned about is this may become protracted, like America's war in Vietnam or Iraq war, or Afghanistan war. This may really drag out and become a mess. But my expectation, looking at various factors that I have access to, various mundane charts, my best assessment is that this is not going to be a protracted war. This is not going to last very long. This will be pretty quick. This will be pretty conclusive. And the Trump administration will be very realistic. They know what they want to do and they will just do that. They will not be over ambitious like the previous administrations. So regime change they will achieve, and they will install a government that is pro-USA, that they will do, and they will get some control over the Irani oil. But the thing is, they will not get stuck here like George W. Bush got stuck in Iraq or Afghanistan. I don't expect that to happen. Another thing is, some people when America was US was sending warships into the area in late January and February, etc. There was some analysts saying, oh, this is the start of the World War III. I absolutely don't think so. I do think that this will be a trigger for World War III, which will happen in 2030, 2031. But I do not expect, in spite of cordial relations that China and Russia have with Iran and the mutual support, I absolutely don't expect Russia and China to be directly involved, except some indirect support to Iran. They will not get involved. They will not get their hands dirty. But this will piss them off. This will make them really angry because this is really pushing China into a corner. This is, after Venezuela, this is another lesson that US is trying to teach to China, and there may be more in the coming months. So China is being pushed to corner, and this is really a big setback for Chinese influence geopolitically. And moreover, materially speaking, the oil that Iran has, US will have better control over who gets it and the pricing, etc. So that will also make China very unhappy. So the thing is, in the long run, in the next couple of years, China is not going to right now they will not react. They will evaluate their options. They will go back to the drawing board, but they will do something crazy in the coming years to teach a lesson back to US, because US has been teaching lessons to China in the recent months ever since 2026 started. So China will try to teach a lesson to US, and that basically that chain reaction is going to lead to something in 2030, 2031. So this will be a trigger for major geopolitical transformation and a major war a few years down the road. But right now, temporarily, in the short term, my best assessment is that this will end well. This will result in quick success for US, and also Iranian people in general being happier. And another thing I said long back is that Zoroastrianism will make a comeback in Iran. I do expect, and also I said that Islam will suffer in general in the world, and in some parts of the world, Islam may redefine itself and become more peaceful. But other than that, in general, this is a bad time for Islam the next several years. So this may be the start of the fall of Islam. We may see Islam really becoming weaker in the new Iran, and it's Iran being a secular country, and also Zoroastrianism, the religion that is pretty similar to Hinduism. As a matter of fact, I consider it a part of the larger umbrella of Sanatana Dharma. Zoroastrianism, in my expectation, will come back in Iran in the coming years. So in general, this will be good for Iran. And also some of the problems we see in the Middle East, some of the terrorism, etc., some of the jihad we see originating from Middle East, a lot of it is connected with Iran, and there'll be an improvement there. So in general, I do expect that though there will be short-term losses in Middle East, because a lot of countries may get involved in a short span of time, but I do expect that there will be better stability in Middle East. This will be good in the short and medium term, but the problem is this will have really serious long-term geopolitical repercussions.
Will it be good or bad for the Iranians?
In my assessment, see, obviously when there is war, there will be destruction, there will be some loss, there will be some rebuilding that has to be done. So in general, there will be some losses, some people will suffer, but overall, my best assessment is this is actually a positive thing for Iran. Even though the new government in Iran may be pro-US, they will be more secular, and they will try to, compare to the previous secular administrations in Iran before the Islamic Revolution, some of the mistakes that the previous governments have done, they will try to avoid those. So in general, my expectation is that Iranians will be better off after this war. After a short period of suffering, they will actually be on a better track. And in general, the sentiment in Iran will be more positive in the coming year, after April 2026. The next year is a better year for Iran.
You said one line in the last talk, Dada, that sorry, Anna, that fall of Iran will trigger China into committing more blunders, countering US. What kind of things are we expecting?
I need to analyze more. I can't put my finger on it, but it may be something along the lines of uh, regions where US and China are contending for influence. China making a fast move, trying to push US to corner and forcing US to become more aggressive with respect to China. So something along those lines. It could be Taiwan, it can be some other part of the world. I can't really put my finger on it, but I don't expect it right away. I do expect China to digest what happened in Venezuela, digest what's happening in Iran, and possibly digest what may happen in Greenland and a couple of other areas in the second half of this year, or first half of 2027. And probably it is 2027, 2028, 2029 time frame when China will become more aggressive, because it may become existential for them. Right now, the issue is US is the unquestioned superpower of the world, number one of the world, and China is the unquestioned number two of the world, and who seem to overtake US not long back. They seem to be primed to become the new number one. So when US is reasserting its influence, reasserting his power across the world, that will push China to a corner. And another thing is, I do expect Chinese economy to struggle a lot. I expect that from October last year, it must be struggling, though whether it is apparent to us or not. But in the coming months, Chinese economy will struggle even more. So those economic struggles will cause some rebellion in the country. So to distract that attention, they may want to take on US head on. So right now, they will not do any such thing. But in 2027, 2028 timeframe, that's entirely possible. Exactly how it will pan out, we need to analyze more, and we need to we need to digest it more. But at a big level, at a big picture level, one thing I'm confident of is this will be one of the main triggers that will push China towards becoming
World War.
more antagonistic to US and be willing to be in the face.
So these are build-ups for the World War III, as you predicted,
These are all
2020.
build-ups. These are all
Build-
what happened in Ukraine, what's happening here now, the change in the Middle East. All these are build-ups.
build-ups, yeah. So what will be the long-term consequences of fall of Iran? Because now fall of Iran is imminent in this region.
Mhm.
It looks like that.
Yeah, like I said, the long-term consequence is Iran will be a secular country. It will be better off, and Iran's influence in the Middle East will reduce. Basically, uh, organizations that were getting arms or getting money from Iran, they will not be able to do that. So they will suffer. So as a result, some equations will change in various Middle Eastern countries, and to fill this vacuum, Saudi Arabia is one powerful country in the Middle East, but Turkey is another country that I'm looking at. When I look at Turkey's mundane charts for the next few years, that is interesting. So Turkey may try to fill the, I think we discussed it in a previous video also. Turkey may try to fill the gap left by Iran's fall. So Turkey may become more aggressive. So some equations in the Middle East will change, and some Sunni versus Shia equations will change, and who's doing better in which country, that will change. So as a result, all the efforts that China and US have been leading to influence various Middle Eastern countries, everything will have to be fine-tuned and recalibrated. So all this will happen over the next few months and next couple of years. And in general, this is a positive thing for Middle East. This results in a more stable Middle East. But the problem is there are vested interests that don't want a stable Middle East. So those interests that have been meddling with the Middle East, they will not sit quiet, and that is going to basically result in some unexpected developments over the next couple of years. In general, 2020 to 2030 is the period when unexpected things will happen, and the big war of 2030 2031 will be a consequence of many unexpected developments that are due to somebody being desperate, somebody being pushed to a corner and being desperate and doing something silly.
Hmm. Will Iran be broken going beyond this? Do we see a change in map and
Yes,
creation of new countries or states? Because at the same time, while Iran Israel is going on, there's another parallel thing happening, which has become less important because it's been slowly and gradually happening. Pakistan, Afghanistan.
yes. I do expect not only Iran's map to change over the coming few months and coming couple of years, I do expect several maps in that region to change in the next couple of, even before 2030. I'm not talking about, see, after 2030 major war, World War III, lot of redrawing of the world maps will happen. Lot of countries will split or combine. There'll be a big overhaul in the world map. But I'm talking about even before 2030, in the next couple of years, in the lead up to 2030, some maps in that region, in the region of Iran, will be redrawn. And looking at Iran's next few years, the annual charts, it does look to me like Iran will be more stable, but it will also split into multiple regions. So some of the border regions of Iran may combine with border regions of some neighboring countries, and there may be new regions formed, new countries formed. So that is definitely possible. And talking about our favorite neighbor, Pakistan, as you said, Pakistan, Afghanistan war has been happening. I said in last March that Pakistan will be involved in wars with both India and Afghanistan during this year, on both fronts during this year. And there was a brief war with India, and now Afghan war is really heating up. And as a matter of fact, the chance of war with India is also quite there. I think we covered in a video in December that there is a window for that, which opens in late February and goes on till May. So during this time, and the window has opened now. So during this time, March, April, May time frame till May third week or so, the window is quite open. So there is a possibility that Pakistan will be bombarded on both sides by Afghanistan and by India. And this time, I don't expect Trump to intervene and try for a Nobel Peace Prize. I do expect that India will have its way. So this is actually, in the next couple of months, are an awesome time, great window for India to take control of Kashmir, which Pakistan illegally took from India long back. So, and in general, I've been saying that by the end of 2028, Pakistan will break into at least 4 different nations, and that process, this period right now, late 2025 and early 2026, first half of 2026, is very conducive to that. So it is entirely possible that Pakistan, Asim Munir, he may have basically swallowed more than he can chew, and this is a terrible time for him. He can fall, he may be forced into exile, or he may even lose his life. That's a possibility. And secondly, Pakistan can break into multiple parts this time. So in general, we'll see Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, everywhere we'll see instability in this period, and some countries splitting into multiple countries.
What will be the impact of breaking of Iran on? Do you think there's going to be any kind of a
On
triggering
India?
in India, astrologically?
Yeah. My assessment is India has been friendly with Iran for a long time, and those friendly relations will continue. But the thing is, the new government that is going to be installed in Iran, for example, suppose Reza Pahlavi ji comes back, they will be more pro-US than pro-India. So it will not be as favorable to India as one may expect. This is not necessarily a great news for India, but in the long run, it will be positive for India, because I do expect, in spite of current tensions between US and India, and some people thinking that US and India are now enemies, I am firmly convinced that US, Israel, and India, their friendship will be the bulwark when it is time for World War III. They will be strong allies going forward. So that way, Iran will be favorable to India. And in general, India will have cordial relations. But when it comes to India versus US, Iran will be on the US camp. Iran will prefer US to India. So India has to navigate a little carefully. So in general, my overall assessment is it is not too positive, not very negative. It's basically slightly positive for India. India has to tread carefully.
Right. And you said something like Sunni and Shia thing might now get another triggering of Sunni Shia conflict. What are we looking at in this context?
What I mean is, in various Middle Eastern countries, there is a delicate equilibrium between Shia power and Sunni power. And there are certain backers of Sunnis and certain big backers of Shias. And Iran is the biggest backer of the Shia community across Middle East. So the money, the weapons, etc., they give to various Shia militias and Shia political power groups, that is going to now come down. And Iran is going to be more secular and not into this Shia versus Sunni politics. So that is going to make Sunnis in some countries more powerful. That will give more power to Saudi Arabia. So in general, what I do see when I look at the mundane charts for that region is, there'll be some in the ninth house, there are some negative influences, which is dharma. So there'll be some religious tensions. When there is an equilibrium and the equilibrium is shifted, there'll be efforts to dominate by a new community, and to establish a new equilibrium takes some time. So there'll be some religious tensions in some Middle Eastern countries over the coming 2-3 years. And I suspect that Iran's fall may have a direct or indirect role in it.
But Sunnis have been more violent than Shias. And now the Shias are the ones who are being butchered, actually.
Actually, you know what? You may know better on this than me. But the thing is, the Shia Iran has been sponsoring groups like Hezbollah, Hamas, etc. So the thing is, it's a tricky subject. All I can say astrologically is there will be some increasing religious tensions due to a broken equilibrium across Middle East in the coming couple of years.
And this one will have spillover effect in the entire, I mean,
Yeah.
both on the east and on the west, because
Yes.
those who are there, they will either try and run to Europe or towards India, Pakistan, Afghanistan region. Yeah, this is, and do you see a new leader coming in Iran? Somebody
Yes,
from
yes,
there only?
absolutely.
Or
I don't have any insight into who it will be, but logically speaking, it will probably be Raza Pahlavi, the exiled son of the previous king, the Shah of Iran, his son. Probably it is going to be him, but all I can say astrologically, because I have only Iran's annual charts and Iran's uh, lunar charts, etc. So all I can say is by April 1, there is very likely fall of the current ruler and a new ruler being installed.
But there's going to be no nuclear attack, no, because Iran is giving all the time one dhamki that I have nuclear weapons and I won't be afraid to use it. Today also they said no red lines now, not from here.
Yeah, of course, if from their perspective, it makes sense when the when the Grand Ayatollah has an existential threat. Of course, there are no red lines. You will do anything, but in my assessment, the time for shit to hit the fan is not here yet. That is in 2030, 2031. So I don't expect a nuclear attack. I do expect everything to be neutralized successfully. I don't expect Iran to inflict such kind of damage on any Middle Eastern countries or Israel. I think those are all, in my best assessment, those are all empty threats. They won't fructify. They won't basically manifest.
Ji. Thank you so much, Periana, for giving a perspective on the Iran war. We are looking at a change of guard or बहुत सारी नई developments. But what is the long tail that I'm taking out from here is the triggering that will happen towards China, Shia Sunni conflict that's going to be affecting, and the spillover on the entire world, both on the east and on the west, both on the west and on the east, and on the east it's India. So देखते हैं अभी क्या होगा. But तब तक के लिए thank you so much. Don't forget to scan the QR code and register your passes for the 14th-15th of March event. डॉक्टर अंबेडकर इंटरनेशनल सेंटर, आप सभी निमंत्रित हैं, और जो लोग किसी कारणवश नहीं आ पा रहे हैं और एंड दे वांट टू कंट्रीब्यूट डोनेट टुवर्ड्स दिस कॉज, दे कैन कंट्रीब्यूट एंड डोनेट ऑन द नंबर एंड द यूपीआई गिवन इन द ऑन द स्क्रीन. इसी के साथ जय हिंद, जय श्री राम, हर हर महादेव.
जय हिंद, जय श्री राम, ओम शांति.